Hey, what's going on? This should sound a lot better than my usual videos. Finally, my cable came in through Amazon. Thank you, Amazon. That is a wire connecting from my phone through a USB-C type to a USB mini type that connects to my Yeti microphone, and hopefully this should come through really nicely in recording. And today I'm going to be talking about free agency in football. These are some of the top free agents that's going to be available in the year 2020 football season, and this is from the article on goal.com. Just looking at some of the top signings there, so shout out to goal.com for their article. That's why I keep looking up, and also I'm trying to talk into the microphone properly, so that's why there's not a lot of eye contact anyway in my videos, to be fair, because I'm always thinking and I'm always looking over there like a bit of a donut. Anyway, coming up at number one on our list, Edinson Cavani. Now, he'll be linked to a number of top clubs in England, a lot of top clubs looking for a striker. He has been talked about with joining Manchester United in the past. I think a club that could really look at him as an option is probably Chelsea, a team that needs that extra striking option. Maybe Newcastle. If that takeover does come through, he might be a good option for them if they get him in a good enough contract where it's not going to be too strenuous on them. To get him on a free would be very, very crucial for them, and he could be a very big sign for that new build. But yeah, he's a top quality player for anyone, but I could see him re-signing for PSG. He's always been linked to go away, but he's always stayed, and he bags goals, proven goal scorer, 20 goals a season. That's the type of player he is. Next on the list, Chiellini apparently is on the final year of his contract at 35 years of age. You could see him go anywhere, really. He could stay. He could randomly pop to PSG or a team like that, or he could just go to China. Probably not as much anymore, and this isn't a corona thing. This is because of the contract situation over there. They're reducing the contracts, so the government are stopping the owners of these massive Chinese clubs from overpaying wages to these football players, and they won't be earning that much anymore. So you'll probably see a lot of European, South American talent, Arnautovic, Oscar, Tyson. All these players probably leave China and join teams in Europe again due to this to this thing. But he might go to America. You never know. But he might still have a lot to offer. If I was Juventus, I'd keep him. He'd be a very good. He's a for the future of their club at least. Matthias de Ligt, can't really ask for a better tutor, really, to play with. Him and Bonucci, the future could really learn from a player like him. So that's Chiellini, and Ryan Fraser is next. Bournemouth player. He's been apparently here linked with the likes of Arsenal, Liverpool. We all know which club he's been linked to more than any, and that's Arsenal. Arsenal Football Club could do with him, but is he the player that's gonna take them to where they need to be? I don't know. I don't think he will be that player, but he could be a part of that. They need someone on that left-hand side who's dangerous. If they can play Nicolas Pepe on the right, him on the left, and Lacazette or Aubameyang, who actually Aubameyang could leave this season. So if they could have that front three, that could be a very decent front three for Arsenal. And it's just whether he's going to translate that season at Bournemouth that he had, not this season, the season before, to Arsenal. He struggled this season, to be fair, and he's been struggling to keep himself in the side with the likes of Harry Wilson coming on loan. But that's Ryan Fraser, the Scottish international, at number 3. Number 4, a man who's had many ups and downs in his career, Mario Götze, of course, we all know him for his massive move from Borussia Dortmund to Bayern Munich and then back to Dortmund, and his World Cup winning goal. We could see him move from Germany to maybe a club in Italy. Maybe he could go to the Premier League. I would think he'd stay in Germany, but I could also see a team in America picking him up and giving him a large contract just for that quality he does still possess, because there's no doubt he's still a quality player. But you never know. Like Cincinnati, they've been picking up some big names. Maybe David Beckham's Internazionale Inter Miami, or want to pick him up or something along those lines. You never know. But he could re-sign for Dortmund as a bit part player. With all the talent they've got in this season, he'll struggle to get a look in. But you never know. He's that number 4. I think it was number 4. And number 5, Joe Hart. And that's a tricky one. Joe Hart, of course, former Manchester City goalkeeper, had not a great loan spell in Italy with Torino. Now at Burnley, is very brought in as a very last-minute replacement for the injured Tom Pope and Tom Heaton. Is it Nick Pope? Did I say Tom Pope? I probably said the wrong thing. But Tom Heaton and Nick Pope injured. Heaton then moved to Villa, and Pope's back. He's between the sticks, as well as his backup, I believe, Peacock Farrell, who used to play for Leeds United. Joe Hart, I could see him going to a Championship side, maybe a team looking for promotion, teams that won't need him in that spot. You're looking at Leeds with Kiko Casilla. I don't know what you think of him in his mouth, and maybe times where he shouldn't be saying anything. He is a good goalkeeper for that level. Derby County, I've seen, has been linked to him in the past. I think that'd be a very good signing for a team like Derby County. But it's I think, how much has he fallen from grace? Is he is Keller Roos better than Joe Hart? If you mind the background, there's lightning going on outside, and I've got my window open just to make this even more eerie. Ooh. But anyway, Joe Hart, I could see him going to a Championship side like Derby County, giving him a run around. I don't see a Premier League club picking him up. I don't see him getting into any Premier League clubs really. Even if you're looking at a side like Norwich, Tim Krul, he's been on good form. Bournemouth, they've got better keepers there. West Ham, Fabianski, wherever he goes in the Premier League, he wouldn't be a starter. He'd need to prove himself at a side. If Jack Butland moved from Stoke, he might go there, or something like that. Middlesbrough, a team like that. But Joe Hart, number 5. Number 6, the man who's recently moved on a 1-year deal to AC Milan, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He could end up re-signing for AC Milan for another season. His season cut short like everyone else's due to the coronavirus. You never know. He's either going to re-sign, or he's going to move to a top team, or he's going to go to America again. Because he did that. He's done his America stint with LA Galaxy, where he dominated America. He's finally played in England for Manchester United, and he played very well when he did. And now he's moved to AC Milan. I could just see him staying for another season. I think he's got lots of proof in Italy. I think he'll be a bit peeved that he didn't get to finish the season, and he'll wanna prove by doing something good at Milan. Next up, this might be number 6. I'm losing track. Layvin Kurzawa, left back, Paris Saint-Germain. He was the first choice left back for a long while for PSG, until they brought in Juan Bernat from Bayern Munich, who's really taken that mantelpiece at left back for PSG. I could see him re-signing for PSG. It says here the left back has been linked with Arsenal and could face stiff competition from the likes of Juventus for the 27-year-old. But if you're looking at a top team like that, you're probably thinking he'll be a bit part player. Maybe in Arsenal he'll get in the first team. It might, but I don't think that'd be a good signing for Arsenal necessarily. I think I'd want to give as much game time to Kieran Tierney as much as possible, see what they can do with him. The only reason I'd see to bring in a top quality left back would be in for a year or for a loan deal or something along those lines. Juventus, you could see it, but he's not going to get in ahead of Alexandro. He's just going to play a bit part somewhere else. I don't think he'll get into a top team. Not Everton because of Digne, but I think maybe a team of that stature he could play a first team role. But I think it will be most likely he'll sign for as a bit part for a big club or re-sign with PSG. Next up on the list, Adam Lallana. Injuries have been a bit difficult for Lallana. He's not really had a look into this Liverpool side, which is I'm not going to blame him. He's a really good player. He's one of the best players on the ball in that midfield. Him and Ross Barkley, when they take players on, sometimes magic happens, and he's got magic on his feet. He's not going to get into that Liverpool side though. Now you're looking at teams who might be interested in signing Adam Lallana. You think, Newcastle, he could be a good signing for them. Depending on who they sign though in the season. Wolves could be a good signing for Wolves. Sheffield United, Sheffield United are a very good team defensively. They really rely on that defensive five to shut down teams and have a lot of pace. And he could be a good replacement for João Moutinho, or maybe a good player to bring in that midfield to really add some. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Wolves for some reason. I got Wolves because Wolves and Sheffield United play the same formation, don't they? He could be a really good midfielder in that Sheffield United midfield to really transition from defence to attack, and he can really take on players and thread some nice through balls for the attackers. But yeah, he could play for Wolves. He could play for Sheffield United. Teams like that. I think he'd be incredible for Sheffield United because you could play him in that three-man midfield, and you could play him on. You could play two midfielders, and you could play him on top of them in an attacking midfield position, and he just run the show attacking wise. And yeah, I think he's still a quality player, and he still has so much to add to many of the Premier League. But like it says here, the midfield for Liverpool: Henderson, Wijnaldum, Fabinho, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Milner, Shaqiri. Is he getting in ahead of any of those? With his injury record, I don't think he does. So it's unfortunate for him. Ooh. Alright, Lightning, calm your tits. Right. Next up, Dries Mertens from Napoli. He's put several clubs on high alert. His future, I meant to say, is vague. Telling Voteball Sports magazine last October, here at Napoli, I still have 7 months left of my contract. I don't know where I'll be playing next season, but that could be just to any quote. It doesn't really mean anything. Him saying, I don't know where I'll be next season. A lot of players say that and they just re-sign it. It's, but I mean, I guess it's something to note, but I don't think it's anything to be taken too seriously. Where he could go, I think the best place for him to be would be stay in Napoli. You know, if it's not broke, don't. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But if he were to leave, there's a lot of top teams that would look at him. Juventus, he could be he could play for Juventus. He could play for Chelsea. He could play for Man United if he wanted to. There's a lot of top teams in Europe that would value his services. It's just for how long is he going to be at that level, because he is getting on a bit. He is in his 30s. Will Dries Mertens be a player in the next 10? What mind about 10? In the next 2 years, is he going to be that type of player? And for the money you're going to want for wages, I don't know. You'll have to sign a 1 to 2 year deal with a player like that. But you know, he still has a lot to offer, probably still for a top team. But I think Napoli's a good side for him. I think he should continue playing for a team like Napoli. You know, they play at a high level, and he's really the star man at that club. Next up, Thomas Meunier, who's been linked with a number of clubs. He came close to signing for Everton in the summer. Apparently, according to him, he almost signed it. He's been linked with signing for Arsenal and Man United before Man United signed Aaron Wan-Bissaka. We were looking at getting Thomas Meunier, apparently, and that's really interesting to see. They almost signed for Everton. He'd be a good signing for Everton, really. Seamus Coleman is their current right back with, I believe, possibly... Who comes in at right back other than Coleman? I don't know. I can't remember. I can't think. It's Sidibe, probably, on loan. So maybe Meunier would be a good signing for them. But, you know, he's not been the same player he has been. This is sort of similar to the same situation as Kurzawa. Is he going to be at that level? I don't know. But yeah, I could see him going to Everton. I don't see him re-signing for PSG, to be fair. He's looked like he's going. Thomas Tuchel doesn't really fancy him, doesn't look like. Yeah. Apologies again for the background noise. I know it's frustrating. I have the window open right now, silly, and I'll have to close out once I'm done with this. I just don't want to get up and sort out right now, especially since I'm in the middle of a video. Ranting on about football, rambling on about football, but I think this is, you know what, I think I've been alright today. I think my the way I've spoke has been a bit more clear. There's been a lot more structure to it. I'm following a guideline, but it's less of a ramble, more guidelines, but I guess I'm still rambling on about the subject. How many are left? About 5 left. Alright, we'll try and get through them pretty quickly. Pedro for Chelsea, I think he should re-sign. He's 32, he's still at a good level. Apparently he's been talk about him going back to Barcelona, while Inter Miami would be linked. If he was to go anywhere else, I'd go to America, get a big payday, or stay at Chelsea. He's still a good player, come off the bench for the wingers. You know, he's still got that in him to play in the Premier League. Fucking hell. David Silva, apparently he's been linked with Japan, Qatar, you know, same as most of the other older players, but stay at City. I think if he stays at City, guides Phil Foden, links at midfield, still's a great player on the ball. You know, he's still a big player in the best midfield in possibly the world right now, in Man City. So I don't see him leaving. I don't see why he would leave. I don't see why he should leave. Thiago Silva, he said he'd like to finish his career in Paris, but it depends how this season ends. So yeah, I don't know. I see him signing again then. It ended in coronavirus. Finishing the league, so we want to have another season with the league, with the team, or he'll retire, or maybe go to Brazil. Who knows? Maybe we'll go back to Brazil for Grêmio or Flamengo or whoever the team there. Willian is next. He rejected a 2-year extension from Chelsea in February with the hope that they would offer a 3rd year, but as nothing yet has been agreed, Liverpool are the latest club to be linked. I don't see him going to Liverpool unless they're getting rid of Shaqiri and he could be a backup. If Man United wasn't signing Jadon Sancho, I could see him going to Man United. I think he'll leave though. I'd like to see him go. I'd like to see him go to a club which will need him. A club that will need a player like him, a tricky, quick winger who's known for scoring goals. Even though he's getting on a bit. I was thinking AC Milan, but they got quite a few options. They've got Castello, they've got Suso. Inter Milan play a 5 at the back. Juventus are a bit full with talent there. Arsenal, Nicolas Pepe. Barcelona, I don't think Barcelona would want to touch him at the moment with his age. Perhaps also Martin Braithwaite, for the greatest player to ever play for Middlesbrough. Big up Martin Braithwaite. You remember him? He used to play for Toulouse, moved to Middlesbrough, then moved to the La Liga, and then Barcelona randomly signed him. Fucking absolute banter. Yeah, I can see him going to Spain. Yeah, maybe Spain. You know, Villarreal, a team like that. Who knows? Maybe go to America, Japan, whatever. And last on the list, Jan Vertonghen. He's missed out on a chunk of the start of the season due to injury. When he returned, he revealed he'd been fit. Rumours reported between him and Pochettino swirled. However, since Spurs appointed Jose Mourinho, Vertonghen has played regularly, and Defender's agent recently suggested that the door is still open for him to extend his stay. If I was Jan Vertonghen, I'd stay. You know, come to United. I'd take him. We'd take him. But if not, stay. If you stay at Tottenham, you know, you're playing for a European side, a top club, you know, one of the top leagues in the world, and he could become a club legend, and you know, that I think that might be important to him. And if Jose Mourinho likes you, you know, and you look good defensively, your stock's only going to rise. So maybe a top team will look into you if you want to move in the future. But that is everyone. Big shout out to goal.com. This is where I found the article with the little tidbits of added information that I've read off the screen, but this is where I've just got all the players because I was thinking about free agents, because I've been watching a lot of basketball videos on YouTube, and the free agency over there is like mental. That's how most of the transfers happen between different clubs in basketball. Like, for example, last year, Anthony Davis, he was playing for the New Orleans Pelicans, and the Lakers gave them like loads of players, and then they got Anthony Davis, but they also gave him a first round draft pick, which then they got to get Zion Williamson, who's like one of the best looking draft picks ever. He looks to be one of the he could be like the next LeBron James, like that type of level. So, you know, that's how a lot of the main signings happen. So I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about free agency in football, and I thought, you know, it'd be a good video to make, interesting, and I also wanted to try out this badass camera. I hope it's come out well. I hope there's no lag or latency to my voice. If there is, then you probably won't see this video and it'll probably be scrapped. But I've enjoyed just rambling on, talking. But anyway, that's my thoughts on free agency. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you're having a good day, you're all keeping well to your quarantine. Mentally you're safe, you're fine, physically you're safe and fine, and all that. Yeah, anyway, see you later.